I feel like there's a force that's always trying to kill you.
I literally, like, we joke my freshman year. You remember the amount of times I almost died my
Yes.
freshman year? I had the water bottle fall from the 3rd floor of the atrium and miss my head by that much. You know, like literally an inch.
And then the bike.
Then the bikes, I got hit by bikes twice, literally ran over. Someone recorded one of them because they were recording me from a distance, and they recorded me getting ran over by a bike. I almost got hit by a school bus. A dumpster truck, you know, one of those dumpster things that lift.
Yeah.
Dropped a bunch of concrete, it barely missed me because they dropped in the wrong spot. It's bad. Like, Matty Culver and I, one time we were walking back from campus and we were talking about, they're like, and she was like, Matty, like, I feel like the angel of death is following you everywhere you go. I was like, it was terrifying.
I feel like over the course of 3 years, so much has happened to you, and you've just barely grazed it.
Yeah, like I barely. No, I got that knife pulled out on me on the first day of college. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Y'all, listen to
That was
this.
crazy.
I legit had an audition for band because at OSU, because I was thinking about at the time doing music as well as architecture. I don't know what I was thinking. And it's 10 o'clock at night. I got lost coming back from campus, and I ended up wandering around Qdoba, and this guy is following someone, and he's staring me down, and he pulls a knife out and stares at me. And so I just drift in the middle of the road, trying to get away. There's no one around me. It's 10 o'clock at night on the first day of being on OSU's campus, and I'm walking by. I'm looking for one of the emergency light things, and this guy's just staring me down. I legit just sprint. Once I pass him, I'm like, I have my instrument case. It'll protect me. And I run and try to find someone. Find some guy around the library, and I just ask him to walk me back to the dorm. And he was just like, fucking freshman. And I'm run up to the dorm, throw my instrument case in the room, and my roommate's like, oh, how did your audition go? I'm like, it was terrible. I went into the shower and cried because I was like, I don't want to be an adult. I don't like college. I don't like any of this. It was awful.
I just want to go home.
I just want to go home. I don't want to be here. I almost died on the first day. It's too much, Mo. It's too much.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of... Is this episode 4?
Yeah, it's episode 4.
Of Binger's Anime Edition, and we're so glad to have you guys back.
Yeah, once again, this is Matty and Mo here, and we're just going to talk about animes with our fellow weeb friends out there. So, hope you guys have been staying safe, and we're just going to get right into it. Well, first, we're going to talk a little bit about our life, but, you know, we're going to crack into it this time.
Yeah, so tell me about your internship, Matty.
Oh, yeah. So, for all of you guys that don't know, I started my internship on Wednesday. And to say I was nervous was an understatement. I was terrified because I'm an architect major. Like, this is my future. This is my life. This is what I want to do. But I've never actually worked in the workforce in the architecture firm. And I was afraid that I wouldn't like it. I had no idea what I was getting into. They had told me they use AutoCAD and Revit, and they told me to review Revit, which is a 3D modeling software, because they use it at work. I'm like, okay, no big deal. So I watched, I would say 8 hours worth of like YouTube videos and practice using Revit. First day of the internship, get there, and they're like, so you reviewed AutoCAD, right? And I was like, no. And they're like, well, we use AutoCAD here, so that's what you're going to be using today. And I literally wanted to cry because I was like,
panic attack.
I have never opened this before in my life. I've never opened AutoCAD, and I was terrified. I was like, I thought I was going to die. And so I definitely went in the car. I went to my car during lunch and had a total breakdown, and it was bad. And so it's fine. And I was like, this is awful. And like, I'm like, I don't know if anyone likes me. There's only 6 people here. I was overdressed. It was just awful. And then
you were overdressed.
Yeah, because I was like, I wore business casual, like khakis and a button up, and most of them were wearing jeans. And I was like, shit. And I was like, whatever.
Hey, it's trial and error.
Yeah,
you know?
Well, okay. And then Thursday was better. Like, I got a better hang of it. I was talking more to the guy in my office. He's pretty cool because there's only 6 of us. But the other 2 girls, I didn't know if they liked me or not, and I had no idea what I was doing. And then on Friday, I went to, and they had a meeting with the clients, and I sat in during the meeting, and I was like, okay, this is interesting. I took a lot of notes of just how meetings go. And then, so they're building the restaurant, and there's like a courtyard, and then they're building like a small strip mall next to it. That's kind of what they're doing.
Strip malls are a staple.
Yeah,
here,
especially in Oklahoma. God damn it. And then my boss is just like, yeah, Matty, we want you to design the storefront facades. I was like, what? And he's like,
oh, that's a big project.
I know. Well, it's not like a huge deal. Like, of course they're gonna.
That's still exciting.
Well, I don't know. And they're like, we're gonna do it in Revit. I'm like, God damn, I don't know what to do. And so I was like, I was just very overwhelmed at my internship. It was rough. Okay, it was pretty bad.
I can tell.
Yeah, I cried. I didn't cry a lot, and then also on Friday, like at 4:00, they're like, okay, we're going to go to the new brewery that just opened up and get drinks. And I was like, it was just so weird because like I've never, it's just weird going with coworkers. I had just started an internship at a professional firm with. I know it's normal, but it's kind of surprising.
Yeah, I know you told me you were going for drinks, and I was like, you got chummy really fast.
Right? Like, well, there was only 5 of us because the other intern wasn't there and he's under 21. So they were like, let's go to the brewery now. And so
they're like dragging the newbie.
Yeah, they're like, come on, let's go. And I'm like, okay, cool. So yeah, that was my internship.
Sounds exciting.
Fun. It was okay, don't get me wrong. It's a great experience and I'm so grateful for it and I know I'm going to learn so much. But I so don't know anything. And I brought my laptop home from work because I worked on some of it yesterday because I don't know how to use the program. I don't know how to do the things I want to do. I know what I want to do. I just can't do it in the program.
Though everybody that starts an internship feels like that at one point.
Yeah, it's fine. Oh, so Mo, what did you do this week?
I've done a lot.
All right. Well, how's your week been?
It's been pretty good. I've done a lot of cleaning. I've watched anime. I gotta confess.
Oh, here it comes.
I've fallen back into my bad habits of anime watching.
What did you do?
I hate this. I hate that I start an episode and then I don't finish it.
Wait,
and I start multiple episodes.
You start an episode of an anime. You don't even finish that episode before you start watching an episode of a different show?
No, it's like I'll get like 6 episodes in and then I get bored.
Gotcha.
And then
That's not as bad.
I'm going to go start another one.
What did you do this week?
I started like 3 this week.
God damn.
I know, I hate myself. Don't
hate on you.
Don't hate on me even more.
Okay. I'll keep it. I'll keep it down. I won't.
But I have
scream on the mountains.
I started Banana Fish.
Isn't that supposed to be pretty good?
It actually is. It's very interesting. I only got to episode 1 though on that one.
Honey, you're supposed to. You literally are like, okay, guys, like if you're ever gonna watch an anime, you need to get at least to episode 3. And
I know I'm a hypocrite.
Gosh dang it.
And then I started one. It's called Beyond the Boundary. And that one was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know what any of these are about.
I don't know what they are either.
And you're I don't know.
I finished the hamster one.
Oh my god, what is it called?
Himoto Umoru-chan.
Oh my god, I just know like like
the opening.
The opening is just like the little maracas, and she's just like, I'm like, is she a flying squirrel or something?
It's actually really funny.
Okay,
but
isn't she like in love with her big brother?
No.
Oh, I guess wrong incest anime.
What is up with you and incest in anime?
It's literally everywhere. Like almost every other anime I feel like I've heard about is like, oh yeah, these 2 siblings rule the world with incest, that kind of stuff. Like No Game, No Life. That's literally the plot.
That's the one you're thinking of.
Oh, okay. Well, no, there's that one where like the guy has like 3 other girls that he's talking to who are perfect for him, but he's like, oh no, I don't want you. I want my underage sister.
I know which one you're talking about. I don't know the name of it though.
Yeah, I'm like,
it's like the one where like he doesn't know who his sister is.
What? No, he literally knows it's his sister because they
really.
Yeah, I think it's the one with the weird toothbrush scene. We don't need to talk about this.
I think we're talking about multiple different animes right now.
Sorry, everyone. If you know what we're talking about, just, leave a comment and let us know what we're talking about.
Please tell us what animes we're talking about right now, because we certainly don't.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind. And like, I just watched Guilty Crown, and there was a little bit of incest in that. It wasn't like a ton of incest, but like, it was definitely incest. It wasn't consensual incest. Never mind. That sounds even worse. And they were like 6, but like, never mind. So I don't mind it if it still has a good story. But the ones I'm thinking of don't have good stories, and they just have incest for no reason in it.
I have to be honest though. I did watch one the other day that was kind of incesty.
But was it technically not incest?
It was technically not incest, but it was weird.
Like Step Brothers, it's fine.
Like, okay, so it was called Brothers Conflict.
Okay.
And it was definitely a reverse harem, because it was like one girl and like her 12 brothers, but they were like step brothers.
Oh no.
And they
so
ranged...
technically not incest.
Yeah, but they ranged from ages like 31 to like 10. And
oh no.
Yeah, and she was 17.
I mean, I'll give it a shot.
It was just the most like awkward thing in the world.
Yeah, I don't...
Because none of the brothers looked alike.
Oh my gosh.
And I hated that.
Yeah. Well, because they're all stepbrothers.
No, they're all all blood brothers.
Oh no.
Like, their mom gave birth at least 10 times.
Oh my gosh, that's a big no for me. We need to make a bingo sheet. Like, I remember talking to you about this. We were going to do a bingo sheet, remember?
Ooh, yeah.
And I was going to put a category on there. It's technically not incest.
Technically not incest.
That would be a perfect time to mark that off the bingo sheet. We should do that.
You...
We should make a bingo sheet and like give it make it available either like, I don't know how we'll make it available online, Instagram.
Yeah.
Can you do downloads on Instagram? I don't know.
No, but you can do screenshots.
Oh yeah, and then we can just have people like, okay, watch this week's episode and mark off the bingo sheets and stuff, and I think it'll be fun.
I have to tell you though, in that anime that I watched, I hated the main character so much. I just wanted to reach through the screen and just choke her.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I like that kind of stuff.
She is the most indecisive, submissive heroine I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my gosh.
And I hated it. She just let her brothers do whatever they wanted to her. And she didn't stop them. And I was just sitting there the whole time like, there's a 30-year-old man, like, kissing you and, like, hitting on you, and you're not like, hold up there, partner.
Well, in Japan, okay. Once again, in Japan, the age of consent's 13. She's perfectly
I'm not saying, like, I'm saying the fact that, like, it was, like, her stepbrother, and she wasn't like, yo, dude, like...
Well, is she pretty?
No.
What?
I mean, not by my standards, but...
Fair enough. Speaking of animes that we've watched recently, I finally finished Fairy Tail. After a year of watching. Okay, so keep in mind, I started this last year during finals week and watched, I want to say 6 seasons in a month. I watched the majority of the show in a month. I got all the way to the tournament arc, and after the tournament arc, I stopped watching it because I was sick of Fairy Tail, and I went to like Death Note, and I'm like, why did I watch Fairy Tail ever? But I refinished it during finals week this year. I don't know what it is with finals week, but I watched it again, and like, I'm glad I finished it. It was one of those things, it's like, this show is literally like, for a year I've been kind of watching this, and it's over 300 episodes, and like, it was just kind of weird, like, it was over. There's this nostalgic feeling and like emptiness, whenever you finish a show.
It's like you didn't really like Fairy Tail, but it's like a part of you.
It was still a good show. It is a good show, I'll give it that. It's not one of my top 10s, but I enjoyed watching it. Like, I didn't hate it. Like, I felt like I was part of the Fairy Tail guild, and I like wanted them to succeed. So I was kind of like sad,
It's kind of like, the culmination of like years.
It was just like I don't know. It was just like, it was good. It was the same thing happened when I finished. I know this was going to happen when I finished Attack on Titan. When it finally comes out, it got delayed again. Surprise, surprise. But whenever it comes out again, like, I know when I finish Attack on Titan, I'm literally going to cry. Because I love that show. And I know what happens.
I know.
It's going to be... all you guys know, I love this show.
I sent you a video the other day on TikTok that was like... Oh my God,
we're talking about TikToks again. The last episode was full of TikTok conversation.
This is only one thing, because it ties into what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
About how I was telling you about anime, like, endings and stuff. It was like, Deku becomes the number one hero when we finally figure out, and it was talking about all of the anime endings and stuff that like nobody's gonna be ready for.
Yeah, I'm not ready for any of these animes to end. Whenever you send me those, I literally tear up because I don't want them to end.
Oh, I did too. That especially that one, I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be a reality one day.
Well, like Attack on Titan, I mean, it's not a huge spoiler, but like, there's a time limit on certain characters' lives. Eventually, they will die within the show because that's just how the world works. And I'm like, they said that, and I was like, oh, tears. I was like, sad day. I was like, okay.
They're not gonna be around.
Like, there's a little time limit of their life, and I'm like, oh, okay. Or like in One Piece, when they finally find the One Piece.
Yes, when they finally find the One Piece, I think everybody's gonna
swear to
lose
God.
their shit.
I've never seen One Piece, but if they get to the chest and open it, and it says, there's like a fucking note in it that says, oh, look around, this is the greatest treasure you'll ever make, is the friends you've made. I'll be like, God damn it, he deserves a crown. He deserves something. Like, no, this is 600 episodes. You're getting actual treasure. You're not getting
it's
friendship.
more than 600 episodes.
I can't even. I watched something about like if you watch you watch an anime 8 hours a day, it'll take 46 days to finish
I
One
saw
Piece.
that.
No, I'm not. I can't start One Piece because it's too long. I could not watch that show.
I think I saw one that said like it would take, what is it, like 2 weeks to finish Naruto or something.
Like, it's crazy. Like for One Piece, it's over 600 episodes. It'll take 48 days to watch. Like, I much rather watch literally 46 other animes instead of watching One Piece, because One Piece might be amazing, but that's 46 other animes that all could be different plots, different stories, just be just as amazing. I'd much rather watch it, you know?
Yeah, I get that. I just would want to watch One Piece just for the fact that it is become the longest running anime.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I would like to finish One Piece eventually, or like even Naruto and Bleach, because they're both good. Like, Bleach is getting a new season, but it's so long. I'd rather watch 46 Death Parades, you know? Like, shows that are that quality, that are short, than a super long anime. Because I'd rather it's like one long movie for me, watching a 12-episode anime. It's only 4 hours.
Yeah, but I don't know. I've started One Piece, and it's just been kind of like a gradual thing of, you know, every once in a while I'll pick it back up and continue watching it.
Is it a good show to watch as like background music?
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Okay, I might do that then, because it'll be good.
Because the arcs are like super long, and some of them just aren't all plot, and some of them, you know, you know how it is.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, but it's honestly great for background. Like,
Yeah,
I used to watch it a lot.
It's a good show to watch as a background.
Like,
that's how I felt about Fairy Tail. I watched it in the background for a long time.
Yeah, I used to like listen to it as I like fell asleep at night, because like I could still kind of pay attention to what's going on. But
oh yeah, makes sense. All right, Mo. So what else have you been doing this week that either you're proud of, ashamed of, disappointed in?
wow, those were two negative connotations right there.
I'm sorry, but you know what I'm talking about. You mentioned it to me. Would you like to tell all of the listeners what you did this week?
So, I'm not usually one to read manga.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't get me wrong, I'm an avid comic reader.
Yes, you are.
Stop it! But I don't normally read manga, especially shonen manga.
And which manga did you read this week?
I finished Demon Slayer.
And how was it?
I'm blown away, excited, tearful,
Heartbroken?
heartbroken, you know,
Yeah,
ecstatic.
Mo was literally texting me while I was at my internship dying, and she was like, I just finished Demon Slayer, it's so good. And I'm like, I'm crying in my car right now. I'm sorry, I can't sympathize with you. But like, you were like you were like so excited about it becoming an anime because it's going to be so good.
It's gonna be so good. Like, I didn't even realize, like, once I've read the manga, everything makes sense.
How many seasons do you think there's going to be?
Well, the anime leads off in the manga at like at chapter 53, and so there's 205 chapters,
okay.
And plus a movie. And I figured that, I mean, I think that the whole train arc was like 30 chapters
Okay.
at most, maybe.
So you're thinking maybe like 3 seasons in a movie, something like that? Maybe 4
Yeah.
seasons in a movie?
I would say that no more than like
5?
3 seasons.
No more than 3 seasons? Okay. And because they're kind of long seasons anyway. That'll be good.
If they do like 25 episodes for every.
That'll be really good. I'm excited, as I haven't read the manga at all. But, so Mo, what are we reviewing this week? Like, this is a good segue into what we're reviewing this week.
Yeah, we're going to review Demon Slayer.
Yeah, guys. We pulled it last week. You guys knew this was coming, and Mo kind of cheated on us and read the manga, which is fine.
Hey, you know what? I counted this as part of my research.
Okay.
You know?
Sure. But, yeah, so do you want to... Should I talk about the synopsis real quick first?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. It's a pretty generic synopsis. Nothing like too special happens in this. It's a typical shonen anime, but pretty much our main character, Tanjiro, right? Did I say that right? Sorry, guys. Also, Mo is going to be pronouncing all the names correctly, while I am going to be messing all of them up. So bear with me. But pretty much Tanjiro, after his father passes, he's pretty much the sole provider for his family. He has a very large family. He has like 6 siblings and his mom. And he goes into town to sell charcoal one day, and he's such a nice guy. He's helping, all his neighbors out. And then when he gets back, like, everything's changed because his entire family is slaughtered by demons. And except for one of his sisters, Nezuko. So he realizes she still survived, and he's trying to run back and bring her to the family, like the town doctor, but she turns into a demon and tries killing him. And pretty much some stuff happens, and their bond as siblings overpowers her instincts as a demon, and they impress this demon slayer. What's his name?
Gyu Tomioka.
Yeah, that guy. And he's pretty much like, wow, there's something special about these two, and he convinces Tanjiro to become a demon slayer. And
yeah, he's like, if you want to protect your sister, like, the literally only way to do it is to become a demon slayer.
And he trains to be a demon slayer, and the entire anime is pretty much about Tanjiro avenging his family and not letting this happen to any other people, but also trying to find a cure and protecting his sister Nezuko, which, not gonna lie, this girl, I would protect her. If she was my sister, I would do anything for her. She is so adorable. She's precious. Love her. But Nezuko! But yeah, pretty much that is the general synopsis of what Demon Slayer is. It's pretty basic to follow, but it's still really good. So, Mo, do you kind of want to talk about the plot a little bit more? I don't really.
Yeah, Demon Slayer was originally a manga that was published in Weekly Shonen Jump by, what was his name? Kyoyoharu Gotouge.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah,
Guys,
it was.
I'm so sorry. I don't know any of these names.
I've got you.
Thank you.
It was originally first published February 15th of 2016, and last week was when it finished.
Oh, that's insane, though. Like, I love that they waited so long to produce this. Like, how they waited so long to make the anime, because they were able to spend so much time on this. Because the studio, which studio was it? It was Utable? No, not Utable.
Ufotable.
I was close. Utable? I like that.
Ufotable.
Yes. They did a really good job with it. I'm very glad they worked on this anime, because I'm really excited to see how the other seasons are. We'll talk more about why they did so well later, but
yes,
it was released April 6th and
ran until September 28th.
And there was supposed to be a film on October 6th, but because of
No, I think that they're still planning on releasing October 6th.
I thought it was delayed.
Mm-mm.
Oh,
I haven't heard anything about it being delayed.
Everything's getting delayed. I've just assumed Attack on Titan got delayed. I was heartbroken.
I don't think that they've gone that far for anime that's being released in, like, the winter.
No, all the fall, like, in Attack on Titan is supposed to come out in September, and it's been delayed. And I know the Given movie's been delayed.
But then again, the Given movie was supposed to be released, like, weeks ago.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, never mind. That makes a lot more sense then. I heard that it got delayed, but I might be wrong.
I haven't heard anything about the Demon Slayer movie.
Well, the Yuri on Ice has been delayed. Movie has been delayed as well.
Was it supposed to be out in the fall?
I don't know, y'all. Y'all tell us. Tell us what was supposed to be delayed.
I only know when the Demon Slayer one, because I was excited about that. They announced the movie, and I was like putting it in my date book.
Oh yeah, you literally were like, we are watching this movie when it comes out.
Yeah, I was like, keep October 16th open, because we are going to watch the movie.
Right. I'm really excited because the film is going to be really good. And the studio that produced this is the same studio that's done like all the Fate movies and stuff. So they do really
Which
cool.
those are really popular.
Yeah, and
so
they do some really cool projects, and they mess with different mediums, which we'll talk more when we talk about the visuals. But I'm looking forward to talking about that because I think that's really interesting.
Mhm.
But do you kind of want to talk about the plot some more?
Yeah, definitely. I honestly really like the plot of this.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, I really did. I can see why a lot of like when it came out, a lot of people loved it, you know? And then after a while, I feel like it became overhyped.
Yeah,
And
for sure. It definitely had an overhype problem.
in some ways, you know, like a lot of people were saying like, "Oh, it's very overhyped,"
Yeah,
you know,
and it's sad because like I reviewing this, I realized, oh, this actually was a really good anime, but I was definitely one of those people like this show was so overhyped, it's not that great.
I feel like I was kind of like a sheep, you know, following the herd.
Yeah, it's like the whole Attack on Titan hype thing. Like the hype train ended after a couple of years, and I feel like it's kind of like what happened for this anime, but in 6 months.
It's
and
like
now everyone's hating on it.
It's like I'm so quick to say it's overhyped when everyone else is saying it's overhyped.
I think part of it was also it came out at the very end of the decade when they did all these top 10 best decade like animes and blah blah, and Demon Slayer was winning all these awards for like Funimation fan awards and the Crunchyroll stuff. I think people were just hating on that because they were like, it just came out, of course everyone loves it, it's not that great, these other shows are better. And I think you just got a lot of negative feedback from that because people are simping over it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think we'll talk about that some more later too, I think.
One thing though that I really like about the anime is that the original creator for the manga was heavily involved in the production of, which is why I believe that it was so popular.
Yeah, because it was really well written.
It actually follows very closely to the manga.
Oh yeah, and the manga was super popular.
Reading the manga kind of gave me a newfound appreciation for the anime. I was like, this is like only the surface that's like being scratched. We don't even know. Well, you don't.
I don't know.
You don't even know like the whole entirety of what, you know, they're even doing or like what's it about and the characters and all that. And definitely when the anime continues to come out, more of that's going to get revealed, and I think people will be like, oh, maybe I need to like rethink that a little bit.
Yeah, because it's really good. Like, I really enjoyed.
It was very well done.
The plot was interesting because most of the time when you get a shonen anime, you have, you know, your fights, and you just have filler fights that have no purpose. But in this, and at least in the anime, and I'm assuming the manga, every fight has a reason. It shows a different aspect of the demons. It shows a different aspect of how the Demon Slayer core works and all that. And I thought it was really interesting. The fact that the training arc was literally just one episode, bless, because I hate training arcs because they are so long.
There was actually a lot of people and reviewers saying that the anime was better than the manga.
Oh, really? Oh,
which rarely ever happens.
Yeah, because I wrote some notes on that as well because it's very. The studio did a really good job about bringing it to life and adding different aspects to it, because the camera angles and everything, you can't do that in manga panels. You can do that in anime though. You
know, with Tanjiro's training arc, it's really hard to sympathize with him in those manga panels, you know, because we don't really see like what he went through and like all the hardship and that. Usually the training arc's like a page in the manga,
for sure.
And having it actually animated and we see and hear like what he went through, we're able to like get on his level more and like sympathize.
For sure. It's very interesting how they did the training arc. I think they did a really good job of pacing in general. Like, certain shows have terrible pacing, and especially in shonen, and they just have so much filler. This anime was one of the few that didn't have pacing issues and or filler issues.
Yeah, I will say though, at the very beginning, it kind of little rough to take off, but then it's smooth.
After episode 3, it was pretty good.
Smooth sailing.
So, I feel like the next thing we should kind of talk about is, since we just talked about Tanjiro a little bit, is actually talk about the different characters in this anime, because I think the characters are really fascinating. Do you kind of want to talk about Tanjiro a little bit?
I love Tanjiro.
Oh, yeah.
He's honestly one of my favorite main characters, because I feel like one big trope that's in a lot of shonen anime is that the main character is a big whiny baby.
Oh yeah, there's such a big whiny baby. Which we still get that character, but Tanjiro is not the big whiny
Yes,
character.
and that's what I love about it, is that he's not whining and crying when he has to go do something.
Oh yeah, and like the alternative is you have the typical hot-headed, like super naive, super like we're gonna save the world through friendship type of shonen plot, like fairy tale and like D Gray Man, you know. But
Yeah,
I feel like Tanjiro fits that category better, but it's refreshing because the Ade knew he's mature and he's not naive about it. He knows that demons killed his family and he knows the consequences of that. He's still compassionate and he's very kind to these demons when he kills them somehow. Like, I can't comprehend that because I could never do that. But it shows how mature this character is, how refreshing it is that he can show that compassion to even his enemy, but he doesn't excuse their actions of killing people and ruining their lives. He just ends their suffering pretty much.
exactly. Like, he's such a kind and compassionate
Oh, yeah.
character, but he doesn't, erase the fact
Oh, yeah,
that the
for
world's
sure.
fucked up.
Yeah, because
You know?
the world is fucked. This world is pretty fucked up because it takes place in what,
The
Tashio
Taisho era.
era of, which is like
The
right
Taisho
before the
period.
Meiji Restoration
Mhm.
period, like right before the whole like World War II stuff happened, like in World War One, like all the militarization. So it's an interesting part, like a point where like urbanization started occurring, and you can kind of see that throughout the anime, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, like with the train and
Oh, yeah.
becoming more modern and that kind of thing.
No one like Tanjiro grew up in the woods, and he's like, "What is this? I don't
This is a
understand
big
what's happening."
beast.
Yeah, but yeah, and one of Tanjiro's, I feel like it is a good lead into like one of Tanjiro's biggest goals is to find his sister's humanity again.
Yeah, to
And-
find the cure for Nezuko.
exactly. And do you want me just? I'm going to talk about Nezuko a little bit because
Yeah, you like
love
Nez.
Nezuko. She is so adorable.
I feel like everyone's favorite character is
She's like-
Nezuko.
she's so cute. Like this girl is, I think Tanjiro's older sister.
No,
Is it
Tanjiro's the oldest,
Is Tanjiro
but
the
that's his
oldest?
oldest younger sister.
Oldest? Oh wow, that okay. But like their bond as siblings is what drove this anime. Like he will protect her no matter what. But unlike typical like protecting the sister or tapping the young heroine, the young female lead, she actually protects Tanjiro a lot of times too because she's a demon and she's like
She's pretty badass.
Like she like just like what is it, episode like 3 or 4? She literally just kicks a demon's head off. It's about to kill Tanjiro, and I'm just like, okay, I see you. I'm
One of my
like,
favorite scenes with Nezuko is when she's kicking the ball back and forth with that
oh
demon.
yeah, that fight scene.
Yes.
It's
I was like,
so
that just
good.
shows how strong Nezuko is.
Oh yeah, and she doesn't care if she goes past her limit. She will do anything to protect her brother, and she is so sweet. And she doesn't talk ever, except for the very beginning, because she has to wear that like what is it, like bamboo
It's
stick?
yeah, it's like a gag.
A gag the entire time, so she won't eat a human. Because once she eats a human, Tanjiro will have to kill her, and so she's resisting that urge to drink blood and eat a human, and so she replaces that by sleeping tons. So she sleeps all the time to replenish her energy, but also just like her love and her bond with Tanjiro is what drives her to be so powerful and like outmatch all these other demons that just feed off the humans. And she never speaks, but her actions show how beautiful and how kind she is and how
Yeah, that was
adorable
when-
she is.
That was like one thing that I absolutely loved about Nezuko as a character, was that even though she never talked once,
yeah.
is that you could tell how much she loved her brother.
And it's just in everything she does, like in order to prevent her from trying to eat humans as much, the guy that trained Tanjiro implanted suggestion into her mind that every human is family. So whenever she sees any human, she sees her family members that have died. And it's so adorable because she'll pat people's heads, she'll receive pats, and then like she hugs all these people, and it's very precious. I loved that. Like I thought it was so. I also am interested to see if that ends up becoming a big like plot point where she realizes her family's dead and that these aren't her family. I don't know. Do you think that happened? Oh wait,
no,
you
it
read the
doesn't
manga,
happen.
So you know.
I know what happens, but I'm not gonna spoil anything.
But yeah, I really like Nezuko. So do you want to talk about the boar boy next.
I think that we can honestly talk about Inosuke and Zenitsu together
Oh, God.
because they're both the comic relief.
Oh yes. Do you want to talk about Inosuke first though? A little bit. Like, what do you think about him?
Inosuke?
You know, the boar dude.
Inosuke.
That's what I said.
You said Nasuke.
I said Inosuke.
Whatever.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I love Inosuke. He's my favorite character. If I'm gonna
Is
be
he
honest.
really?
Yes, I love him.
I can't stand
I love
him.
how he tries to get on Tanjiro's nerves, but Tanjiro just doesn't budge.
He doesn't care. And there's that one scene where they're just headbutting each other the whole time. I'm like, what is going on?
Headbutting becomes just a theme throughout the whole thing.
Yeah,
just
I'm
to
just
let
like,
you know.
what's going on?
No, like even throughout the rest of like the manga, the headbutting it becomes a theme.
Oh yeah, for sure. But
it's so funny.
But yeah, this character, he uses what Beast Slayer
Yeah, he does like beast breathing.
Yeah, because that's how. Oh, we didn't explain this. Each character as a demon slayer, it's pretty much you breathe well and you are more powerful. I guess is the best way to explain it.
It's like a way of breathing that helps you like become as strong as a demon.
Oh yeah, for sure. And so, in Inosuke's case,
he does beast breathing.
Beast breathing, and then like we didn't say in Tanjiro, but he does water breathing, and so. It's interesting because his whole style is just very flowy with water, you know? But yeah. What?
Yeah.
What are you smiling? Why are you laughing?
Nothing. It's just because I know something that
Oh,
you don't.
God, don't tell me.
I can't tell you. And
Don't say it. This is
killing
why you
me!
don't read the manga, because this doesn't happen, okay?
Read the manga.
I'm not reading the manga because I like watching the anime. And I don't have time to do all this.
Hey, it took me 3 days to read the manga.
Yeah, but you're not working and you don't have a job and you're not editing all these episodes and researching your the podcast stuff.
Yeah, I am.
Oh yeah, but like I work from 8 to 5 and then I like come home and cry. That's what my whole week has been. I don't have time to read a manga. Where do you read this anyway?
Mangago.me.
Really? Is it free?
Mhm.
Okay.
It's kind of sketchy though, so I recommend adding an ad blocker to your phone.
Okay.
Before.
Okay. Good.
But they have a whole ton of manga on
Duly
there.
noted. All right. Because I tried to read some of the My Hero snippets, but I mostly just went on a Reddit feeds and figure out what happened.
Just go on Reddit and like
Reddit is a scary place. Reddit
is
mean.
kind of scary.
Reddit is mean. Like if you say something that people do not like, they will tear you apart.
True.
But yeah, we've kind of derailed at this point, so let's just reel this back in.
But yeah, I love Inosuke just because his whole thing is, I'm the beast and I'm
the biggest, the baddest, the strongest.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And what I think is the funniest thing is that under his boar mask
Oh my gosh, yes.
is that he looks like a girl.
Yes, I love it.
And and Tanjiro and Zenitsu make fun of him for it.
They're like, oh, but your beautiful face.
It's
love
like
it.
this girl face on top of this buff body.
Yeah, and he's just shirtless all the time because he grew up in the woods and stuff. This guy's crazy.
One of my favorite scenes though in the anime is when they just got done fighting the spider demon.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like laying in bed and like Inosuke's voice is like gone.
Oh, yeah, because he got like from screaming so much, or did he get hit in
He
the
got
throat?
like hit in the throat and then he screamed really loud after, and so it like hurt his vocal cords or something.
That's what would happen.
Or like,
He's not the brightest.
I don't know. My favorite scenes with Inosuke are the filler ones. Like not even like any of the battle things, but like it's like the
Well,
filler.
are they in the manga? You mean just like the transition?
Yeah, to transition from part to part, like the filler
Oh yeah,
parts.
he's so funny.
You
I
know,
like those a lot too.
like when they go to that like one little inn, like with the wisteria.
Oh yes, and they just help them. The
And,
butterfly,
like-
the butterfly mansion.
No, the one before that, where they go to like, what was that? It was right after. It was right after they met Inosuke, and they went, and they fought the drum demon,
Yeah, the drum demon.
and
He was
then they
cool.
went to that house with the wisteria tree on it,
Yeah.
and like with the old lady, and
Yeah.
one of my favorite parts was when Inosuke like got on the bed And he was like, "This one's mine."
Oh yes, because he's very territorial.
Yeah, he's like, "This one's mine. What do you think about that, Tanjiro?"
And then
He's like, "You pick whichever one you want."
yeah, and then like the other comic relief character is Zenitsu.
Zenitsu.
Which I hate this character with a burning passion because he's a whiny bitch. The entire time. He cries the entire time.
Yeah, but I think him and Inosuke complement each other.
No, he did. I love that he uses lightning breathing technique. I think that's super cool, and it's so cool how they do that.
Thunder breathing.
Thunder breathing. Sorry, not lightning breathing. My bad. As you can tell, I have not read the manga, but I don't like this character. When me and Sean watched this, we were like, I hate this character. I hate this character. He's crying the entire time. He's such a coward. He's a pervert. And he's a little combination of like Mineta with a coward.
It's like Mineta with a coward.
He's a cowardly Mineta. But it's actually badass when he falls asleep because that's how his ability is activated. And I'm just like, what the hell is going on?
But no, I like him because I don't think that you could have Zenitsu without Inosuke.
That's true.
Because if I'm going to be honest, if I had a boar guy yelling at me in the anime the whole entire time, I would want to turn it off. Unless he had like an outlet like Zenitsu to like, because their whole thing. And
yeah,
Zenitsu's whiny, and so Inosuke's like, let me beat you up.
And then Tanjiro is just like, super
there.
He's just there, and he's super stubborn, and he's like strong-headed, but he's also just kind of a dense sometimes too, I feel like.
Yeah,
because Zenitsu is the one that is like actually knows what goes on in the world. Like he's the one that knows about the world, while as Tanjiro and Inosuke hot
Inosuke.
damn and not oof they don't know anything because they grew up in the woods. They're literally like rednecks.
Yes.
And so it's pretty funny. I think they complement each other well. And then there's a couple other minor characters I feel like that are not as big to the plot.
Do you want to talk about the villain?
Sure. Who's the villain?
Muzan Kibutsuji.
Yeah, he's just the head honcho, pretty much, right?
Yeah, I think he's a great villain, though.
He's cool. He looks like Michael Jackson.
Do you know who V from BTS is?
No.
You don't? Oh, dang.
Is he based off of that character?
No, but there was like a picture of him the other day, and somebody literally said, that's Muzan. Because he looked like Muzan Kibutsuji, and I died. I was like, he really does look like him.
But yeah, he's pretty cool. They introduced him really early in the anime, which I really liked.
Yeah, when he got introduced, it was like goosebumps, heart racing.
Yeah,
I was like, what's going to happen?
It was so good. And it's interesting is they show that he literally controls the demons through terrifying them all. And like, he's the only one that can create new demons. His blood, if his blood goes into your system, you become a demon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so he's the only one that he's the demon king because he's also extremely powerful, and he has like scared everyone to like follow him. Like the fear factor is what makes his followers exist.
Because he can like follow around all of his followers, basically.
Oh yeah, pretty much. And
except for Nezuko.
Nezuko, and then those other two.
And then Tomoya.
Yeah, which I really like Tomoya because pretty much she was a really high ranking demon at one point, right?
Yeah.
And then she decided she did not want to follow.
Broke off from Muzan.
And she broke off the curse where she can say his name now, and she's trying to find a cure for demons. And she's found a way to repress their urge to eat people a lot, right? Like,
yes.
It's been repressed a lot.
It was through drinking like a drop of blood or something like that.
Yeah. And it's really, she does it really well, and she actually will like, if a human comes to her inn and they're like dying, she's like, okay, you can either die or I can give you a way to survive if you become a demon, and I can save you that way. And she saves a few people that way, and she has a few devout followers now. And,
yes.
And she's a really interesting character. Like she's asked Tanjiro, like, I will help you find a cure, but you need to get me blood from the highest, like the what is it?
12 demon moons.
12 demon moons, and give me their blood, and I can do some.
Because those are the ones that are the closest to Kibutsuji.
Oh yeah, and it's interesting because the guy that's in charge of the Demon Slayer Corps, he mentions like, oh yeah, go say hi to her for me next time you see her, and like he hints like, oh, I already know that she's a demon, and I know she's trying to find a cure because the Demon Slayer Corps is like only goal is to kill all demons,
like their allies.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I think this is a good segue into talking about the 12 demon moons, though. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. The name is kind of self-explanatory, but there are 12 high-ranking demons, and 12 to 5 are the lower-ranking demons, whereas 6 to 1 are of the higher-ranking demons, and those ones are the closest to Kibutsuji.
In terms of, like, power, right?
Yes.
And it's interesting because the lower 12 demons have not moved up to the upper 12 demons in, like, what?
300 years.
Yeah, something like that. And
they get replaced so often.
They get replaced a lot. And so, should we talk about this part? Is this a spoiler to talk about?
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, y'all, which y'all know there will be spoilers in this, but pretty much there's one episode. This is the first episode I watched because I was watching with your roommate and her boyfriend.
Yes.
And this is the only episode I watched. Pretty much the guy that, like, the Demon King is just like, yo, I'm going to disband the lower 12 demons because y'all are worthless pieces of crap. And this one guy just died, so y'all are gone.
Yeah, lower rank 5, the spider one.
Yeah, and
got killed.
Is it considered lower rank 5? Like,
yeah, lower rank 5.
So he's ranked 11? Or is he ranked 7?
I don't know. I think that they just call him lower rank 5.
But he was in the lower rank, right?
Yes, he was in the lower rank. But he was like, I think he was 1 away from being in like the higher rank.
Okay, gotcha. That makes sense. But he pretty much is like, y'all, I'm going to kill y'all. And he just slaughters these bitches, except for one guy. And that one guy becomes, he takes the blood from the Demon King and becomes more powerful and loses his marbles a little bit. And I think that's where the train arc starts, right? They are going to fight that guy. I think is what it's going to, but yeah.
What made me mad during that battle?
Oh no.
Is...
Wait, which battle are we talking about?
The one with Spider Demon.
Okay.
Is, you know how Tanjiro's whole thing is to take the blood of the 12 moons?
Right.
And he didn't.
Right, I was like, what the fuck is your deal, my dude? Like, the entire time I'm watching this, I'm like, take his blood. He's dying.
I'm
his
like,
blood.
Take his blood, do it!
Take it! And I'm like, oh my god, and he just
And then
doesn't.
he didn't. And I was like, are you kidding me? That was your whole point.
Right?
You finally fought one.
Yeah,
and
like,
you didn't even take the blood.
Yeah, like, okay, that episode 19 is like the turning point for this anime. I think this is a good... Yeah, and like, episode 19 is what put Demon Slayer as like the trending on Twitter. Like, it made this show so popular because episode 19 is beautiful. It is so good.
Well, like, anybody who's seen Demon Slayer, all you have to say is episode 19 and they know what you're talking about.
They're like, oh yeah, for sure. And like, this entire fight, they're fighting this one of the lower 12, and Tanjiro's fighting him, and they finally defeat him, but they don't fucking take his blood. Like, what the hell?
I know. I was sitting there the whole time when Tomioka finally cut off his head. I was like, take his blood, do it.
Take it.
Throw your little thingy and take his blood. And he never did.
He was just like, oh, and he's like, he is critically injured, but like, still, like.
Well, it's like, you can't like
just,
you did it for one.
Oh, he's stupid. But yeah, I think this is a good time to talk about like the visuals and music, because episode 19 showed how great the studio is at producing a manga and making it an anime adaptation, to the point where it's almost better than the manga itself.
But I also think that's because they had the original creator helping them along the way, which
for sure.
That really doesn't ever happen with anime. We don't usually manga creators aren't very
involved in the script writing or any of it.
The adaptation.
And it's so beautifully done. The animation is so crisp. It is beautiful. Like, the whole showing the breathing techniques and how they do it. It's like a piece of art animated. It is so beautiful. The whole Spider Clan fight arc, I feel like, was so good. Like, killing the mother of the Spider Clan, like, she was just embracing death, and it was such a beautiful scene with the light and how that was done. And then, oh, it's just so good. And then the blood art and the exploding blood, and how he uses the threads. And I'm like, oh, this is...
Ooh, when Nezuko's blood art, when they revealed it, I was like, that's a badass blood art.
Right? Everything about it was beautiful. And then the music was so, like, complimented.
I loved the music
so much.
I loved the use of the flutes in the music.
Oh, yes, for sure. I remember with Sean and I watching this, and we got goosebumps the whole time. We were like, we have to watch the next episode. He was like, Matty, we have to watch the next episode. We cannot just not watch it. And I'm like, yeah, we like binged like that entire arc in one night.
No, definitely. I binged this anime within 2 days.
Oh yeah, it is a really, really good anime. And
because it was just one, it was like it ended and you had to keep going. But one of the things that I really liked about the animation was that the water breathing, it reminded me of the Great Wave painting.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. I was like the whole time I'm like, what does this remind me of? But
I
yeah,
know.
that's for sure what it is. That's so because it's literally a work of art animated. I love that they took so much inspiration.
They took like a Japanese like painting and style from the Great Wave, and then they added that into the water breathing.
Well, like all of the styles of each character, like every breathing technique they use is extremely highly stylized for that character. Like the girl, they use the insects, the butterflies, and the poison.
Ooh, Shinobu.
Yeah, she is. It's very different from Tanjiro. Tanjiro is like very flowing with like water, but she's very like floaty and like very like beautiful in terms. It reminds me of like insects and stuff, like and a butterfly and how she poisons.
Well, how
people.
she poisons, she doesn't cut heads off.
Yeah, she just one little.
I think she's such a badass character.
Yeah, she is.
She is my favorite female
she's
character.
So good. And then like Zenetsuke, he uses the lightning, the thunder, and like he'll fall asleep, and then in an instant he
can only use the first form.
Yeah, but he has perfected the first form to like a
yes,
T.
there's like 6 forms, but he can only use the first. But he's perfected it. God damn it!
And like and it's incredibly fast, and the lightning is and like coming off of him is so stylized for that character. They use like it's not like Fairy Tail where I don't know. I just saw a lot of similarities between Fairy Tail, Jiguru Man, and Demon Slayer. It's like each character, they have their different magic, but it's kind of the same animation style for them all. For this, it's almost like each animation is truly unique, and the effects they use, the music they use is so unique for each character that I think it just raises this shonen anime to a whole new level.
It's definitely like the color that draws me in.
Oh yeah, the color
especially
is
when
beautiful.
The color's bright and uses like reds and contrasting colors. Like Tanjiro's hair is red, but he wears green, and
and then like they definitely use the red more for like demons, like the blood art they use, and it's highly
a vibrant red.
A vibrant red, and like even when Nezuko uses her blood art, or anytime she fights, it's a lot of more of the reddish tones, and then all the Demon Slayer Corps, well, the good guys in the Demon Slayer Corps, because not all the Demon Slayer Corps members are decent human beings. They're very colorful. But like the just background, like random Demon Slayer Corps people that are just mercenaries are very plain, and I like how they do that.
You can also tell that the animators did their research on the Taisho period when creating these scenes.
And I just studied Asian architecture, so there was a lot of things after like rewatching it, like the little snippets. I'm like, wow, they did this correctly. Like the tea house architecture they used was used very well in it, and I was like, okay.
Animating like the snow and stuff. I read like an article that the production team actually went up
to the mountains
to get more of a feel of like Tanjiro's house in the mountains.
That's awesome, because like you know that, and
how the snow and all that kind of stuff, and
like they did so well with all that. And like another thing that I really liked so I normally don't like CGI in an anime. I don't think it does well, but this studio does a really good job with CGI in anime. Like they did it in Fate, and they did a really good job in that franchise. They use it more for background stuff, not like foreground character. They use the 2D for characters, and then they do more background camera angles with the CGI, which the demon that controls rooms with his drums, they do such an incredible job using the CGI for the camera angles and the moving rooms and utilizing that I didn't even realize that it wasn't like hand drawn. I was blown away. I'm like, how are they doing this? Like, how are they hand drawing this? This is incredible. But I realized they actually use CGI for all that, but I didn't realize that watching it, because it wasn't like bad. I thought they did a good job with it. I think it really complemented the anime well.
Yeah, definitely. I don't like CGI in anime because usually it looks choppy and it looks like,
and there's sometimes
bad.
You can tell sometimes that it will look choppy. In like 10 years from now, you'll be able to notice that this was bad, like CGI that was pretty choppy. And I know there's scenes like that in the anime, but most of the time, like,
definitely there were some scenes in Demon Slayer though that it was CGI. It kind of bothered me a little bit.
Yeah, which ones?
There was one scene where it was in episode 19 where he used Dance of the Fire God breathing, and he went to cut off the demon's head, and he was just standing there. you know, and then it was like a big swirl of red, and, you know, I don't know if you remember
no, I
that.
remember it.
But just him standing there,
They could have probably
it
just
was CGI,
hand-drawn it, yeah.
but it bothered me.
Well, I mean, would it have been weirder if they suddenly transitioned to a different art style, like a different animation technique?
I don't know. I don't know if they could have done something like different or anything. It's just like the little things that bother me and stuff.
See,
I mean, it's not bad.
I
you
think
know,
it's such a complicated choreography that they had to do it all CGI. I think they did a really good job at that in order to raise the animation to a new level, to get those complicated moves in episode 19. They had to do the CGI, and episode 19 is what put this anime trending on the internet. And honestly, in my opinion, I think Demon Slayer is what really pushed anime in the Western cultures. Like, that is why anime is all of a sudden popular for some reason. Like, I feel like being a weeb is not something awful anymore.
like it's a trend now.
Yeah, like it's trending, and I think Demon Slayer is a big reason for that.
Most definitely.
But that's
But
just my opinion.
I don't know. Like, I'm not saying that it was like all bad or anything.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just like the little things that like bothered me.
But yeah, I mean, I can understand, like, if they did everything 2D, like, and like just hand drawn, and like they normally would, and they were able to do the exact same quality. Yeah, I probably would prefer that. I just don't think they would have been able to, with the time limit and everything like that.
Yeah, I get that.
I think they did a good job with it, but yeah, there definitely could be issues later down the road, depending if they get lazy with it in the next couple seasons and stuff. So,
But actually, did you know that all the water breathing was hand drawn?
is it really?
It was all hand drawn because they just didn't think that they could be able to do it CGI.
Mm-hmm.
And so every time that Tanjiro or Tomioka uses water breathing,
It's all
it's hand drawn.
I love how they just mesh the different mediums. I think adding a new medium and doing it well in anime just raises how animation can be received into people, and I love that. I think
because
it's
I just
really
watched
good.
an anime the other day that had really bad CGI.
It's okay.
Like, you just see it and it's just like cringe, and it's like, could you not have just done
You're
that
like,
in 2D?
Hold up, y'all, please. But yeah, I understand what you mean. But overall, the animation and the visuals were just stunning in this anime. And then the use of...
I loved the Dance of the Fire God
Oh, yeah,
thing.
that was so good.
Oh my gosh, when he went to cut the head off
Mhm,
of
mhm.
Ryu the Spider Demon, and then it was like a slight pause, and then all of a sudden just fire just like
Oh,
engulfed
it's so,
around
guys,
him.
Y'all,
It was
you
like
guys need to watch
goosebumps.
this. Y'all need to watch it. You'll understand. If you just watch the fight scene, you'll understand why it's so good.
Yeah, I just rewatched just that particular scene today because
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you know, if I'm going to talk about episode 19, I need to talk about the specific part
Yeah,
that
for
everyone
sure.
talks about. And I watched it, and even having not seen Demon Slayer for a while, I was just like heart racing,
Oh, yeah, for
goosebumps.
sure.
I was like,
Another,
go Tanjiro, cut his head off.
another thing that gives me major goosebumps every time I watch it is the Demon Slayer opening, because they do
I know all the
Lisa,
words to that
freaking
song.
Lisa. We talked about this not too long ago, I feel like, but
She does the best openings.
Lisa is just so good. I love Lisa.
Any
And
opening that has like Lisa in it, I'm just like,
I'm here
it's gonna
for
be
it.
a bop.
And then the animation for it and the visuals are really good. I mean, we talked about this recently, but
I would say like the animation and like the opening's okay.
it's okay.
Not
It's
anything
not
special.
awful. It's not like a worse quality, but it's nothing. They definitely cookie cutter it from the anime.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that they like take scenes, because if you closely look at it, it's all original scenes. They're just
Oh,
maybe
really?
at like different angles, or like, you know, because I think there was like one scene in it where he was like fighting the hand demon or something.
Oh yeah.
But that scene wasn't in the anime
Oh,
itself.
okay, cool.
But one part of it that I really like is when like Nezuko's hair comes down.
Oh yeah, that's a really good part.
And it shows like her transition into like being a demon, and
Oh
like
yeah, it's overall it's a really good anime. The ending is also, it's nothing like super super special, but it's still very well done, and I like the music for it. I always liked the ending music for.
I swear I know every single word to the opening.
It's a good opening. I still listen to it quite a bit. I jam to this song.
It's like I don't know what it says or what it means, but I can sure sing it every single word.
But yeah. Oh, one other thing I want to talk about for sound is the use of the sound effect of like the sword slashing and cutting a head off is so satisfying. It's just like, oh, it's just very good. I just really like that sound effect they use, and I think they use good sound effects throughout the entire anime, and I love that because music's great, intros are important, but when you have good sound effects that complement the animation well, that's what really I think brings anime to a whole new level.
I love how they used like an older style of music.
Yes, I agree.
I feel like that's
The
something that
flutes
we
and everything.
very lost within, anime and stuff. Especially like with Naruto and
Mhm.
Naruto uses an older style of music, and I like how Demon Slayer does that as well, using the
Yeah, I agree.
flutes and the more, you know, flowy. It's like you can
Soundtracks, yeah.
picture it in your head.
I mean, music is such a unique thing in anime because it can either make or break an anime, and it doesn't have to be something that fits the anime. Like Bleach, for example, uses intense vocals and like that follow the fights, which doesn't really fit the anime, but it's very like almost a cappella and very acoustic in that aspect. And they do a good job with that. Like the original Hellsing uses a jazzy beat to an anime you normally think of opera and stuff and like classical music, which they did in Ultimate, which is good. It fits well. But for Demon Slayer, I really do feel like the time period fitting music is really what brings it to a whole new level.
Yeah, I'm glad that they didn't use like modern music.
Yeah, like heavy metal, which I
Yes.
love heavy metal, but like
it was. You haven't seen this anime, but it kind of reminded me of like Yona of the Dawn music.
oh yeah, I've seen clips, so I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, because that music's a whole lot like the Demon Slayer
Oh yeah,
music.
for sure. It's
and
it's very beautifully composed in Demon Slayer, and I love that.
they definitely picked really great composers to
Oh yeah,
do the
for
soundtrack.
sure. I mean, that's pretty much all I had to say about the music and stuff. Do you want to like discuss the pros and cons of it? I feel like we've kind of covered that though. We got the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, now that I've read the manga, I have a totally different view of Demon Slayer, and I would actually consider it one of my top 10
Oh really?
animes.
See, it's interesting because sometimes reading a manga can make you hate an anime, and in this case, reading the manga makes you love the anime more and appreciate it more. Which I think that's a shout out to the production team for this anime.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think if they wouldn't have had the original creator of the manga working closely with it, that it wouldn't have turned out as great as it did.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, for me, like I felt in general, like the things that were really what made this anime stand out were the visuals, the music, the use of the CGI as background, and really those unique camera angles. I think really pushed this anime. And then episode 19 just pushing this anime to be mainstream and make it Twitter trending. I
Even
think
though
was significant for it.
The story is, I will admit, a little cookie cutter.
Yeah, it's pretty. That's the only con I had. It's pretty rinse and repeat, and then the overhype I felt became a huge issue later. But
boy goes on a journey
Yeah.
to find or avenge or create
yada
some magic.
yada. Yeah.
I will admit that it's very cookie cutter,
hmm
but I still love the concept, and I
Yeah.
love how they go about it.
It's very unique. It's very refreshing, and the characters are refreshing. And I'll be honest, the characters aren't like super super amazing. They don't stand out like tremendously, except for Tanjiro and Nezuko, but the visuals and music is what makes this anime. The production team on this have done a phenomenal job with it.
Yes.
No matter what you say about it, no matter if you say it's overhyped or whatever, you can admit that the visuals are really well done. And I mean, don't get me wrong, there's other stuff that are really good out there too, but I think for shonen, other than like, really like for shonen, I feel like this is one of the best visuals I've seen in a long time.
I hope that when they continue on to the second season, I hope they continue to do a second season. But
Instead of just movies for everything?
Well, I think that they put out a movie and then they wait for like the response it's gonna get.
Yeah.
And then they decide whether or not they're gonna get.
Oh, that'll be
do a second
that'll be
season?
so sad if like it was so hyped for the first season, the overhype kills the anime, and if it like crashes in the box office.
I just don't want it to be one of those ones that's like, go read the manga.
Yeah, I don't think it will, because the manga was it just ended and it was so popular, and in order to keep that manga still alive to make more money for it, they'll probably just keep it going because
that's usually what
really
happens.
Matters. Yeah.
Usually, if a manga dies down, they'll put it out
so
in the anime.
They'll probably just release the second season a year after the movie comes out.
Yeah.
Or 2 years, whenever the manga stops.
I figured that we probably got at least another 2 to 3 years of releases for Demon Slayer. if they continue on with it.
Yeah, and this whole Corona thing has really, it's really killed the anime industry in general, like in terms of production and all the deadlines, which at first I was like, man, this sucks. Like all the new stuff isn't coming out, but that just gives us more time to watch all the great old stuff.
Exactly.
There's so much great quality anime I haven't seen, like Angel's Beats. I still haven't seen it, or Clanad.
You haven't?
No, I haven't seen either of them. Dude, the amount of anime I have to watch is ridiculous. Guys, there is so much incredible anime out there. We don't need new stuff right now. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, if we ever get to a point where people like are requesting us to constantly be reviewing all the new stuff that comes out and like each season what's coming, I don't think I'll do that. Like, I'll probably do some like, oh yeah, guys, I'm looking forward to this or that. But I'm not going to watch every single new season stuff and seasonal anime because there's so much good old stuff that I think is going to get overlooked doing that.
Yeah, and I think that's just because we're like in a new generation of anime.
Oh, yeah.
And anime, of course, as we've said before, is getting hyped up.
Oh, yeah. And people are liking it. And it's a really good time for it to get popular because the golden age, I feel, was the early 2000s. Like, in that area, like, Brotherhood, Clanad, all that stuff. That period, like, late.
I'm glad you named dropped anime, because I was like, what came out in the early...
that year?
What?
Yeah, Death Note came out that year, too. Like, I think
was all the
golden age.
OG gods.
Yeah. And all the new stuff is getting people into it, and then they'll get into it, and they'll watch the older stuff, and that will keep them hooked in it. I feel this is a really good time for anime to become more popular. But that's just me. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like... I don't know. It's just, I really enjoy anime as a medium, and I love the production of it all. And like Demon Slayer is one of those animes that keeps me continuing to come and watch more.
Yeah, like I love that more people are getting into anime. I just don't like seeing it as like a trend to be into anime. You know?
You just liked it when you were unique and underground.
Yeah, like.
Mm-hmm. I understand that. It's like
it's
was
like
your
I
thing.
like anime because I like anime and I like to watch it.
Not
because, you know, it's all over TikTok.
Yeah, because like we got into, you definitely got into anime before it became popular. Like it was an embarrassment to like anime.
Oh, yeah.
And like I feel like I got into anime, I got into my like very beginning of 2018. So the end of 2017, like 100 years after anime started.
I feel like in college, though, it's acceptable to like anime.
But like, yeah, I definitely...
It's always been like that.
But I also, like, yeah, I definitely got into it when it was more acceptable. But it was still before it became super trendy. Which now I feel like with the whole quarantine thing, it's become super trendy.
Well, because everybody's running out of things to watch.
And it's all over Netflix and Hulu. Like, Hulu has a huge list of anime to watch. And, like...
Netflix is adding even more.
Yeah, like...
Like, they just put Monthly Girls up there.
Did they really?
Yes.
Heck yeah. Is it dubbed on there?
Probably.
Yeah, they usually add dub on Netflix. But I think them adding anime onto Netflix and Hulu has really pushed the medium in like popularity in the Western culture. Alrighty, yeah, so I feel like we should just kind of go into it, talk about our music recommendations at this point. Mo, do you want to start us?
Yeah, I'll do that. My recommendation for this week is from an anime that I really hold close and dear to my heart, and it's Rose from the anime Nana.
I don't know this one.
You
like
don't?
At all. No, I've never heard of this song.
Yeah, I figured you probably would. It's a really good song.
Okay.
I would recommend looking it up. I think the artist that sings it is called like Anna or something, but I'm not too positive.
Yeah, we'll include a link into it on here. I finally figured out how to do that, so we'll put that on and just go to that link. But yeah, go for it. That's probably I'm gonna listen to it.
Yeah, it's really good. It's honestly kind of like a music anime, but
okay.
Not really.
All right. Yeah, well, I'll definitely listen to it after this and add it to my playlist. That's ever growing. It's probably already on my playlist.
Like 9 hours.
Yeah, it's like 12 hours now. I went through
It's
another.
12?
Yeah, I added a bunch more. I'll share that. If you guys want us to share our anime song playlist with you guys, we can do that. I mean,
mine's only like 2.5 hours.
Mine's extensive and also has English covers on it. And you guys can judge me for it. But like, I like listening to English and in Japanese. So I'm like, whatever. But yeah, so I don't know why we haven't recommended this one yet because it's one of my favorites. So my recommendation this week is Flyers by Radio from Death Parade. And I was like,
oh my gosh, we haven't
we know
recommended
we
that
haven't.
one.
There's so many we haven't recommended. I'm like, why haven't we recommended this yet? But like, this is a must add to your playlist. It is so good. Like we talked about this before, but we jam to this song all the time. It is.
I remember when we first saw the music
Oh
video
my
for
gosh!
the actual
Please watch
song.
the music video.
I was like, oh my gosh, this is so like
80s.
80s.
It was like, oh gosh, what's going on? But no, you guys seriously need to listen to it because it is a really good song. Like 10 out of 10.
It gets
Strong
you
recommend.
pumped up.
Yeah, like it just, I sing to this all the time in my shower. Like I just belt. It's so great.
You don't even know how to like sing the words right.
Oh no,
You're
but I
just,
go
like,
for it. I'm like, heck yeah. That's why I listen to the English cover
dancing.
because it's easier. But
And
yeah.
you jam out to like the English covers and all the time, and I'm like, what are you singing?
I know. I'm sorry. I'm like, yeah, and you're like weirdo, and I'm like, don't judge me. There's no hate here.
It's
There
like
is
the
no hate
judge
here.
form of like a weeb is
Yeah,
like
I'm like,
listening to
it's the
English
sub
covers.
it's the sub dub conversation all over again. I'm like, I don't care. I listen to everything. Anything that's good, I'll listen to it. But yeah, so Mo, do you just want to talk about our social media plug?
Yeah, definitely. You can follow us, like our stuff on Instagram and Twitter, and our Instagram is Bingers Anime Edition, and our Twitter is Anime Bingers.
Yeah, so if you guys have any comments, concerns, suggestions for us, probably DM us on Instagram. That's the best way to get a hold of us. We're almost always checking it, and I get notifications.
I
So
try to tweet out witty comment.
yeah, I
every
don't know how to
day,
use
but-
Twitter. I've never been on Twitter, but
Yeah,
I'll
that's
get on
mostly
there.
me.
Yeah.
When I'm on when Twitter stuff goes out, but
And anytime you see anything about like a new episode, that's usually me on Instagram because
we each have our own
yeah,
thing.
you know, that's our thing. So just talk to us, email us as well. What's our email again?
Our email is bingersae@gmail.com.
Yeah, so if you guys want to, if you guys don't have an Instagram or Twitter, just email us. We'll check that somehow. I'll start checking that.
Maybe, maybe not.
No,
Honestly,
we will.
I really
check it.
don't ever check my regular email to begin with.
I always check my email. I'm like constantly checking my email. I'm super
I
paranoid.
have way too many emails.
I only have 3 now, so, and I'm not going to give you my personal. But yeah, so, but, oh, one other thing I wanted to mention. So I just finished Danganronpa, which I think we talked about last time, but they just released, in honor of the 10th anniversary, an app on it on iOS and Android.
They did?
Yeah, like for Trigger Havoc.
Is it like a video game?
Yeah, it's like $15, so I think it's actually like more like actually the game itself. But I don't know. I there wasn't much reviews on it. It wasn't like downloaded a ton. It had a pretty good ratings. I do think it's still a lesser quality than actually buying the PlayStation game, but it's on there now. So that's something I read in the anime news world. Other than, you know, all the millions and millions of delays, that was something that kind of stuck out to me because
Danganronpa's coming back.
yeah, like on TikTok, like there,
I've been seeing a lot of it.
yeah, a lot of cosplay for what's her name,
Junko.
Junko, yeah, Jamie
Junko Enoshima.
and Jamie Marsh is on TikTok, and she voiced Junko.
Junko.
Wow, I'm sorry, y'all. I watched this dub, so I'm not gonna. I almost spoiled. You should just watch that show. But she was talking about how she voiced the character because everyone's been asking her to do it because it's coming back. Which I'm like,
Yes.
okay, because I like that anime quite a bit. I'm watching the game right now on YouTube still.
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed it. Though I'm not like Matty and can guess the,
Oh, yes,
twist
y'all.
of the plot.
Okay,
But
yeah, guys.
I was thoroughly surprised to find out the big twist at the end.
It was hard because there was a lot of things I honestly thought one of the things I thought was going to happen. This is a major spoiler, but it's like my theory. I thought that no one was actually dying. That this was just I knew it was
like a simulation.
I thought it was a simulation of some sort, and that everyone would be alive because of all the photos and stuff that were showing up. And I knew it was like a TV show without a doubt, like from the very first episode. But I did not expect the ending at all. Because that was so out of left field. I did not see that coming. But now that I'm watching the walkthrough, they're hinting at it so much earlier. Like I'm realizing it because they left so many clues out from the anime that they include in the actual video game.
Really?
So it's
I might have to go watch the walkthrough.
It's like 76 15-minute episodes, but it's good. And it's really interesting because like the big guy that does all the artist guy in the anime. He's actually a fan fiction writer, and he is so pervy. It's so weird. He's like, I'm only into 2D girls. I'll never help like a 3D. I was like, what is going
Isn't he
on?
like that though in the anime?
No, he is, but it's not that bad. And
It's not to the level that.
yeah, and it's a lot more interesting in the video games.
Do they all die the same way that they do in the anime, or is it completely different?
And there's actually, for all the characters that didn't die, because there's different options for the video game, but if for the characters that didn't get executed, the author actually produced theories of like how they would have died if he actually had killed them. So you can look up like how each character died, and some of them are really interesting. So
that is interesting.
yeah, that's Danganronpa. That's one of those animes that's like a mystery that can like. It's a mystery anime. I love mystery animes and trying to guess the endings and stuff.
Ooh, I do too. I remember when we watched Another.
Oh my god, I love Another.
And I was like, what the heck?
And like that's an anime that does a really good job at like hinting at stuff to come and not spoiling it. But when you rewatch it, you're like, oh my god, they talk about it every single episode. And
yeah, you're like, why didn't I catch that?
And I didn't guess the ending the first time. I expected it to be something related to the main character like it was, but I didn't think it was that. I thought it was something else. But that was really a good show. But if any of you guys have an anime that is a huge mystery, that has a crazy plot twist that is like hard to guess, please let me know what the anime is because I love those type of shows.
Yeah, because Matty, he can honestly guess the twist like that.
Oh yeah, like in Mir and Nikki, I guessed that almost to a T in like the 3rd episode, and I remember Mo being so pissed off when I did.
I was so mad because I was like, I'm going to show him this and it's going to blow his mind at the end. And then halfway through, he was like, oh yeah, this happens, right? And I was like, you son of a bitch.
I'm sorry. But yeah, if you guys have any suggestions, please contact us on our social media pages and let us know what suggestions you want. Because like next week, we're actually going to be reviewing Your Lie in April because my friend Chase commented on one of our posts and he asked us to do that, and as well as Haikyuu, right? Which I haven't seen Haikyuu and it's really long, but we're going to do that eventually for sure. But
I love Haikyuu.
Yeah, so that's why we're not doing a drawing this week, is because we're just going to do Your Lie in April for next week's draw, and I'm super excited because I've seen this, but you haven't yet, Mo.
I know. I've been meaning to. I think I've seen
you're gonna cry.
The first 2
it's a
episodes.
It's a tearjerker. It is really good.
I know.
I've
heard grown men cry.
Oh yeah.
At this.
When Chase, I told him I was gonna watch this. He's like I cried on this. Like it's so good. And I watched it subbed. I'm gonna rewatch it dubbed this week, and because whenever we record, it's gonna be for a couple weeks. I'm gonna try to rewatch it dubbed and just really experience this anime again because it's so good. I really like Your Lie in April. It is very beautiful.
I know. I've heard that that's one of the most popular ones.
Oh yeah, you will like it.
Like for all like gender groups.
Oh yeah, it's for shoujo and stuff. It's more of a rom-com, I guess, but
it's definitely shoujo.
It's definitely shoujo.
Shoujo.
Y'all, I'm so sorry.
Tongue-tied there.
Birthday. But yeah, that's what we're going to be reviewing next week. So please tune in for that. And if you have any other suggestions you want us to do, please just comment or send DM us.
Just tell us.
Yeah, just tell us. We'll do it. We'll be like ask us to do a show.
We have nothing.
Yeah, well, I have a lot going on, but I'll make time for y'all. I'll definitely do it.
I have nothing.
At least one of us will watch these shows that you suggest.
Yes.
And then I will be.
I'm always looking for a good suggestion.
Honestly, same, because I know what Mo is seeing, and that's what I mostly watch, but I would love for like a unique suggestion out there. Like that's what I did for Your Lie in April. I got it from someone else and watched it and loved it. And so it'll help us both get into different shows that we've never heard about. But yeah,
But yeah, guys, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter. Make sure that you download this podcast. Make sure, do all the things.
Do all the things. And thank you guys so much for your support. We appreciate it so much. We couldn't do it without you guys. Please interact with us. We'd love to talk to you guys about more.
Yeah, definitely. And keep on binging.
Yeah, keep on binging, my dudes. Take it easy and good luck out there.
We'll see you next week.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye, guys.